Everybody, welcome back to D7R TV. The underbody restoration on the FK2 is now live, so go check that out. And now we are going to do a service on it. I'm sorry if the audio is absolutely rubbish on this one, because it's like bull breeding season or something, and they are lit. They've got the Friday feeling, it's Friday morning, and we're going to get straight into it. So here we have our care package from Honda in Canic. They did us a good deal. It worked out cheaper to go and buy 8 litres of oil than 6 for some reason, but it is what it is. So we've got 8 litres of 0W20. The car needs 5.2 litres or 5.4 litres. I'll just double check. But yeah, 5.4 litres when it's been drained. We've got the MTF3 gearbox oil. We're going to be changing that out. We're going to need 2 litres of that. We've got a fresh oil filter and we've got a cabin filter. We mentioned in a previous video that we're not doing the spark plugs, but I will go through that with you and show you what to look out for and stuff anyway, just because I'm good like that, winning. So if you're under the vehicle, you got your oil sump. That is a 14mm. Most like Jap vehicles like to use even numbers, but it's 14mm for your sump, and your gearbox drain is over here, and that is a 3/8 inch. So put your extension bar off your 3/8 inch in there, and you can crack the plug and drain the oil. Up here is your oil filter. I've already got my filter spanner on it. That's a laser one, if you need to know, if you want to know what that is. So this is a laser oil filter spanner. And what we're going to be doing is using a jack stand, putting a catch tub underneath, cracking the sump nut and draining the oil. Easy work. It'd be right to say that I haven't put the underbody coverings on yet, because it's going to be easier to do it this way. I'm not sure if it covers anything, but it's off, so I'll put these on afterwards. They cover most of the underneath of the car. I'm sure there is a service panel, which should be this bit here, because this is the front section. So you could probably got access there, but we've got it off, so easy work. First of all, what you want to do is get your car fired up, let it run for about a minute, get the oil started to get warm and circulating so it saturates everywhere and ready to drop out. Turn the car off and jobs are good. And car's now been warmed up. We've got our jack stand with our oil catch tray that we're just bringing up to the level we need it. We need to crack this 14mm off, and then we're going to drain the oil. Right, while that sump is draining, you got your oil plug. Check it for any swarf, which is nothing really on here. Give it a good clean with a piece of tissue. Make sure there's no tissue remnants left on it, so it's nice and clean. And then discard your plug washer, because with a genuine Honda kit, you get a brand new one. These are crush washers and they're only one-time use. So put your new washer on, like so, and then that's ready once it's finished draining to put your sump plug back in. Make sure you tighten it, not over tighten it, just get it tight, then just a nip. That's all you need to do. Once your oil's finished draining, put the sump plug back in there, centralise your washer, give it a little clean around, and then nip it up with a socket. Right, now we drain the oil. We are now onto the oil filter. As you can see, we dispose of our oil correctly. Don't be a mug and go stick it down a drain somewhere or empty it into a field, because that's not good. There's going to be a little bit in the oil filter, as you can imagine. It's not the cleanest of work, but it is what it is. It's going to start dripping down my arm any second. Nice. It's got about 10 miles of thread. There we go. That's the rest of it. Just like that. I'm gonna go and clean myself up before I put the next one, the new one on. Give the surrounding area where all your oils just drip down on a little bit of a wipe with a cloth. Make sure there's no residual oil knocking around left. Take a little bit of a little tiny bit of oil off the old one, the old filter, and just run it around the O-ring at the top of your new oil filter, and that will just help it seal. It's not a wives' tale, it does work. And then we put our new genuine Honda oil filter. Let's move this out of the way. Make sure you don't cross thread it, because then you'll be up the proverbial shit's creek without a paddle. And you don't want to be using Hulk strength. Just tight enough and not to come loose. So you just use your cloth to try and get yourself a bit more grip, because it is a bit oily up here. And just a good hand tighten, like so. And that is the oil drained and our new genuine oil filter on. So now we're on to draining our gearbox. Take your 3/8 inch extension bar. I've just cracked it, then I pressed the button on my remote by accident, so not the best. But your gearbox oil should come out like an apple juice colour, like a greeny, yellowy kind of colour. Should be clear. Line this up so it don't go everywhere. Yeah, if it doesn't come out black like General Motor oil does. And this stuff stinks. There you go. It's like a clear whiskey colour. That'll work. As you can see, there's no swarf or little metal particles in it. So I'm happy with that. And we'll wait for that to drain. Then we'll be replacing the fluids. But all that'll be done up top. Again, give your plug a clean, change the washer, then hand tight and a nip. That's all you need to do, just a nip it up. Right, oil fill up time. Back in the engine bay, you've got your oil cap, which is here, a little bit stiff. Remove that, put it in a safe space in there so it won't fall off. And put in our funneling, doesn't quite like to sit in there because there's a baffle plate or something inside that. I'm sure you can get like a screw-on kit which goes into your oil filler cap, but we haven't got one because we don't do too many of these cars. But I'm sure they're out there, and we're going to fill it with 5 litres of oil and then check the dipstick and top up accordingly. It should be 5.2 litres. We've got our 0W20 Honda oil, and these come in 4 litres, so we're just going to top her up. So this is our second 4 litre oil barrel, and we marked 1.2 litres on the actual bottle, so we know the maximum we want to be putting in. But we're going to put 1 litre in, then top up accordingly, so 5 litres. Oil cap back on, and we'll let it sit for a bit, let the oil get down into the sump, then we'll check the dipstick and go from there. Right, so while we're waiting for the oil, the engine oil, to settle into the sump so we can check the level, we're going to be topping up the gearbox oil. And as you can probably tell, it hasn't got the battery in the front because it's actually been relocated to the boot because of this engine technology performance induction kit, which is quite a big piece of kit. But you've got a plug right here, and that is your oil fill for your gearbox. Again, it's a 3/8 inch like the oil drain plug. These plugs at the top are notoriously difficult to get off. They corrode to the actual plug and cause like their own type of mechanical, chemical, nuclear seal. So don't be afraid to get a little ball peen hammer and just gently just tap the top of the plug. I mean, don't start thrashing hell out of it, like that's not what I'm trying to say. It's just literally give it a few taps and it should break the seal to make it a little bit easier. Otherwise you could be wrenching on this thing and you've got a good chance of damaging it. They should only be nipped up, but this one I have cheated and just nipped up myself, so I've untightened it and nipped it up for your viewing pleasure. Right, so let's move that out of the way. Here we have our Honda MTF3 transmission oil, gearbox oil, and they, for whatever reason, they don't come with one of these pull-out tops, what you get on most other gearbox oil bottles. They come like this. So I've obviously broke the foil at the top. They've got foil, and that's your lot. Thanks, Honda, you're great. So unless you've got a funnel, it makes your life a little bit more difficult. But what we're doing is squeeze the top of that, get it down in there, and try and point and shoot. So that's our 2 litres of gearbox oil in. Just tightening the plug back up, a little nip, and jobs are good and winning. So that's all our fluids topped up. The engine oil and the gearbox oil's all done, oil filters on. So now, for the sake of the video, as I said before, we don't need to do this, but we'll do it for you guys. And that's changing spark plugs. So the cam cover, they could have made it a nice, easy pop-off jobby, but instead they put 4 10mm bolts in this top cam cover. And there's one at the back which is pretty fiddly to get to, especially if you've got a long reach socket. You got this one here. They're never really tight. Just put them safe so you don't lose them. I've pre-loosened this one off. And the one at the back there. This is on 3 grommets, little rubber ones, which the cam cover should have been on. But it only just holds this top cam cover in position over here, so you can just move it out of the way a little bit. This one's right underneath the scuttle panel, so it's a bit of a faff to get to, but not impossible. And these are not your normal spark plugs that you see every day. So make sure you get the right ones, and we'll give you the codes and stuff for them. There's a good chance you probably won't even have a spanner for, plug spanner for it, because it's not in the Halford set. So that's our cam cover off. So we'll just move this out of the way. Then you've got 10 mils on your 4 coil packs. And we're just going to take one out for the sake of the video, just to show you. We're not going to take all 4 out because we don't need to change them. So pull your coil pack out, you've got a plug here. You press down and that should pop off like so. And then you pull your coil pack out. Now, this is the funky part. It's not going to be your usual plug spanner. It's a 14 mil socket, long reach, and that'll go down the hole like so. And we're going to show you a trick. Obviously this isn't a plug spanner, so it doesn't have the little rubber insert which grips the spark plug. So you want some rubber hose, and this is 8mm inside bore. We're going to feed this down the plug hole, and hey presto, pops out like so. And it is an NGK, and the code is ILZKAR8H8S. And I will put a link in the video as well, just to help you out. So like so. So if you change your plugs, go like for like. If you're mapped, obviously use what your remapper tells you to use, what heat setting, what heat plug you want to use for your application. If it's stock, just get OEM ones. They're ridiculously expensive from Honda, about 40 quid each. But if you go on eBay, you can get NGK ones and platinum ones for about 50 quid for a set of 4. So shop around. So what we're going to do is going to put this back in the hole, because this is basically replacing it for viewer preference. You don't want to just drop it down in case you break it. Try and find our socket. So you can tighten it back up. Never over tighten them, otherwise it's going to be a massively expensive bill if you can't sort it out yourself. So get it right finger tight, just nip it up, then a quarter turn like so. So get that out of the way. Then you've got your coil pack, plug that back in like so. Get your plug, put that back on. You've got your 10 mil, put that back in. Be sure everything lines up properly. Don't over tighten anything, and you should be on to a winner. Let's get our socket, a little quarter turn on that. So that's our coil pack back in, our plug back in, and time for the cam cover to go back on. Nice and easy, quick little instructional video for you all. One at the front here. You can do these, just literally just nip them up with your fingers. It's only a beautification panel, that's what we'll call it. This is not the actual cam cover. That one's nipped up, put that one back in there. That one's tight. This fiddly one, down the back, tighten that one up. Right, that's tight. That sits on top of the beautification panel, as we call it, and job's a good one. Now you know how to change your spark plugs. Winning. Right, up next, if you're doing a major service, you'll be wanting to do your cabin filter, which is this bad boy here. And if you're wondering where it is at the back of the glove box. Of course it is. They're usually in the scuttle panels on most other cars, but you've got this little clip down here, which you push back like that, it releases. It's like a little hook. If you push it up, you can see. You've got that there. Then you've got your two stoppers, one on either side. And what you want to do is basically squeeze them over. Easier said than done with my phone in hand. But you got to get it off the runner. So you sort of squeeze it in and get it off the runner. Like there's one here and one this side. They're a bit of a faff, but has to be done. There's one out, and then you got your other side, but you got to sort of pull it too. There we go, just like that. Right, airflow. You got two pins here. If you can see, it's a little press. Pop that one off. You got one on the opposite side. Press. Pop that one off. Then, cabin filter. As you can see, it's seen better days. Got some leaves and stuff in it, so you can discard that one. And then we got the new one. Try and open it up. I might have to do a little cut here so I can open the packet up, because yeah, it's not the best. Right, so we've got our new cabin filter, and this should be idiot proof. It says airflow on the actual filter, and it says airflow right there on the actual filter housing, what it sits in. So slide that in like so, clips in nice, then get your little plastic cover, pop pop, just like that. It should take you a couple of minutes tops, and you shouldn't even have to try and figure it out now, because I've just showed you what to do. So just pop the glove box back up, get your little arm thing down, snap that into place, put all your bits back in your glove box which you've pulled out like so, and job's a good one. Winning. So there you have it, guys, how to do a full service on an FK2 Civic Type R. We showed you how to change the oil, the gearbox oil, oil filter, the cabin filter and the spark plugs. So there's plenty to go off, and there's plenty of information there for you to pull up your big boy pants and do this job yourself, because it's not hard and you can save yourself quite a lot of money. We enjoy bringing you this content and stuff that you can learn from. We enjoy teaching, that's why we bring you these videos. We're not sponsored by anybody, even though it would help, but it is what it is, and hopefully that'll happen in the future. And it's been a long day, the wind's picking up, the farm's crazy with stuff happening all the time, so we apologise for any audio that may not come across too good for you to watch back, but we'll work on things. But enjoy the episodes, have a look at some of our other stuff we've done, and we'll see you on the next one. Adios.